we normally complicate life when what's more important is to be alive. Then what comes after, you can only do it when you're alive. If you go to the gravesite, there's people with epitaphs on them who had plans for 2025.
Ish. Said truth.
But they're not here. That's why they can't go on with their plans. So for me, that's a good starting point. Art to me is expression. So art is survival. And in part of that discussion, one of them says, do you know, for our family to prosper, we should kill our mother. I'm like, that sounds so dramatic and too much for me, you know. These people, for real, you know. But they had a whole conversation there, and for me, I could literally imagine that being on stage, and family members planning to kill their own parent, and how dramatic that could be.
Welcome to Scholastica. I am so excited for today's episode because I'm thinking of a cultural genius, a creative entrepreneur. I'd like to think of you as art personified, basically. And it's exciting to have you here today because our theme this year is empowering future generations through heritage-based education and innovation. So having you here is such a big honor. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you for having me. So much pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Phiri. I don't like calling elders by name, so he will say his name.
My name is Saimon Mambazo.
Okay.
So you're free to call me Mambazo.
Mambazo. Okay, Mr.
Mambazo, whatever. But don't call me Mba because that's my name at home.
All right, I won't cross that line. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Would you prefer to speak in Vernac or we can use English?
Well, I can use any other language, but just to warn you, English is actually my seventh language. So I have to speak in 6 other languages before I can translate. But I have to choose which language I'm using to translate to English. So the answers are kind of 1 second delayed because
there's a glitch somewhere.
It has to propagate and then come back.
What are the other 6?
Well, you will hear them when we speak. Which is both my parents' language.
Okay.
Because all my forefathers are from the Nyanja people. Obviously, I live in Zimbabwe, so I have to speak isiShona.
Bolat.
So I also hear other languages. This event I hear it very well. So that's why English is still my 7th language.
Genius in many ways, I guess, because I was doing some research on the types of intelligence that are there, and linguistic intelligence is now part of the list.
Okay, put that on my CV.
Yeah, we take for granted people who can flow, in different languages, and so I appreciate you being here once more.
That's cool.
Okay. So my first question for you, sir, is can you reflect on your journey? What inspired you to see art as an educational tool rather than just a hobby?
I thought you'd ask me how I got into the arts.
We can start there.
It's all right, because I don't have an answer to that question, by the way. Because every time I get asked that question, my answer is I actually didn't go into the arts. The arts got into me.
Oh.
But the inspiration has always been growing up in the townships, you know. I actually grew up literally next to a busy road on the Luveve Road. So art for me started at 4 a.m. You know, when these women are going to markets, we are water, and you hear the conversations that were taking place. And I remember vividly one day, and I think I was sleeping in a room that's literally next to the road. And these 2 women were actually discussing their own family politics. That was beautiful for me, you know. And in part of that discussion, one of them says, do you know, for our family to prosper, we should kill our mother. I'm like, that sounds so dramatic and too much for me, you know. These people for real, you know. But they had a whole conversation there, and for me, I could literally imagine that being on stage, and family members planning to kill their own parent, and how dramatic that could be. It might end up in a situation where they put poison in her drink, and then she changes that drink and becomes someone else.
Who does,
You get me? The drama there was just too much, you know.
Yeah.
So those were my inspirations, and also something that a lot of people don't realize. Tina, when we grew up, we were sleeping in the living room. So where the radio was, I was sleeping next to the speaker. You know? So I used to always listen to the radio early in the morning when the radio starts, and then there's people inside there. And in my head, those people actually lived
inside the
speaker. So one of my dreams was always to grow up so that I can actually go and live inside the speaker. So the inspirations were rather silly, or the way I'm explaining them, but that's where we started with the arts. Now on reflection, to realize that it didn't take me to be on an aeroplane to go to Scotland, to the Edinburgh International Fringe, which is probably the biggest theatre festival, to be inspired by someone. I was actually inspired by my own communities. And then when I got there, that's when I now started to reflect, to say, so that's where my inspiration started. That's why I keep saying I never got into the arts. They actually got into me.
You know, when you're speaking, I'm intrigued by how you break things down. And please define this word for me. What is art to you?
Art to me is life. Art to me is food. Art to me is expression. So art is survival.
You're dropping bars, say.
Not even. I mean, you can never survive without food. So it is food.
I like to take art like the word heart.
Yeah.
Without art, there's no heart. It's just hey.
It's never there. It's never there. So imagine a world without music. How people that are downtrodden now, they always find a pickup from music, you know. When one day you're just walking the streets, you see people dancing, or at a wedding, people dance, or at a funeral. Because we as a people, I mean, we celebrate, we mourn using art. And a lot of us don't realize that you can never go to an African funeral and be bored. You're actually happy at a funeral. You're only sad after the burial, because that's where the festivities actually stop. But everything of ours is artistic, is dramatic in any way.
For sure. Even the toto is
everything is in sequence.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the white men could never understand us, because we're complaining in sequence.
They thought we were happy.
They thought we were happy. They stayed longer. Yeah, sure.
I love how grounded you are. What values keep you grounded in this space? Because you've achieved so much, you've traveled the globe, and it's easy for one to grow a big head. But like, what keeps you grounded in the space that you're in?
I'll take that as a compliment. And for me to be still sitting here, having grown through a life when we were younger, AIDS was a scourge. It was taking a lot of young people. Any other illnesses that you could think of, any other social delinquencies that could have taken me astray, you know, I've survived all of those. And I think it's down to discipline. It's also down to growing up under people that wanted to guide you in the right direction. I didn't have a privileged childhood. Obviously, my parents traveled all the way from Malawi to be economic refugees in a country like Zimbabwe, you know. So growing up in an environment like that actually grounds you. And then obviously when you get to a point where you start even making a bit of money, you understand that money is not everything. You could end up without the money tomorrow, and all you have is relationships. So I've been one person that's very good at keeping relationships and keeping them very genuine. So I think it's discipline more than anything else.
In isiNdebele we say umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Laba bantu bangabantu ngenxa yomuntu.
That's the first I've heard the extension of that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So a lot of times parents can see art as unstable. And we are trying to talk to the parents basically. So like, how would you speak to them to show them that art can be sustainable and can have monetary value from your experience?
So before I drop bars, as you call it,
Yeah.
I would like to agree with the parents. It's a very unstable sector or industry, if you want to call it that. It's because in a country like Zim, there's never been any. There's not much precedences that have gone before us, and we are people that believe in seeing and touching things. So if you cannot see anyone that has prospered in the industry or can touch them, it becomes difficult, or can touch something that has resulted from someone being in the industry. So parents are obviously okay to behave or to believe what they believe in, up until this industry has got role models. And actually, as many role models are needed to change a mentality, to change the approach to how the sector can be perceived, especially by parents. Even sitting here and you ask me, would you encourage your own child to be in the arts? I'm actually at 50-50.
Yeah.
As an artist myself. So there's a lot that you need to also actually bring into your talent. You bring in a lot of discipline, a lot of professionalism, a lot of entrepreneurship for you to actually survive within this sector. There's still a lot that has not been done. The structures are not there in place, but we are in the right direction in creating them. So yes, parents are right, but also they should also be lenient that everything starts at a certain point. And this is the process of creating an industry for the arts in a country like Zim.
It's so sad that living in an unstable economy, for lack of a better statement, art can be viewed as a luxury. So it's not really prioritized in terms of as a want, as a need rather, but it's seen as a want. I'm an artist, I draw, and it's hard to sell portraits because so I understand and I appreciate your honest input on that. And we're talking to our Kiwe, the rapper, on our online platform, Next Step. Shout out to our Kiwe.
Shout out.
And she was saying, as an artist, you have to find other ways of making money. Sell merchandise, interact with entrepreneurs even outside your space. Yeah. What are other revenue streams or money-making platforms that artists can use to grow?
So to agree with our Kiwi is, I think before we are artists or creatives, we're human beings. So we all subscribe to the same world that everyone subscribes to. Obviously, there is no one person that can survive from one income. So I think revenue streams are very necessary within the arts, and I don't think there's any limit. There's things that could be directly interrelated to your creativity. For instance, I'm in the events space. It's very easy for me to jump from one and the other. It feels almost natural that art is always within the eventing space. But if someone has got another talent that's not just directly linked to their creativity, I mean, as long as it brings a revenue stream and an income into your life and your household, surely it should be done. Some people might understand housing and real estate. Why can't we have creatives investing in that? Because there are times when creatives actually are making a lot of money that they actually don't need for that time. Why don't they invest that in real estate and in other things or in retail industry? I think for me, this space is unlimited. I mean, there's so many options that one can go into. You could actually go into investment into these other spaces so that you make enough money to come and sustain what is, in most cases, a passion. So look at you could work in TV so that when you do your portraits, you're not directly dependent on them to give you money. But when they get sold, actually, it's a plus for you. Even if they don't get sold, you can still keep them in your own gallery and feel good about it.
Yeah. So, like, when I look at a person like you, I can't imagine the journey was smooth. Yeah, I'm sure there were hurdles.
Lots of them, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. And
we're here today.
We're here today.
That's what matters.
Can you recall one of your most difficult challenges that you faced in your journey?
Oh yeah, definitely. So growing up as a young person, I always knew how to travel. I knew it. No one needed to tell me that. So I knew how to travel. I knew how to see the world, and I've been lucky to see the world. By the way, and exposure has always been everything for me. Because once you don't know what is on the other side, you always think that what's here is the best. If you've never eaten next door, you think your mama's dish is the best dish. So I'd always known how to travel, and the travel destination was obviously not local. I wanted to go and see the world. So I started volunteering myself with the Rotary clubs, with everything. I used to volunteer at the public library, and by blessing or by chance, things happened for me. And I remember one time when I was supposed to go to Scotland for my first ever trip, and my father didn't even believe that I could actually go there. I actually brought in a first class air ticket home. And my father couldn't believe it, that someone, Ochaya Ingum, we are in Scotland to do what? Even after explaining everything, they couldn't comprehend that things could happen like that for a young man like me. To a point, they went even to the police to say, look, we think Umtana had actually stole money to buy an air ticket.
Can we pause there? Yeah. How did that make you feel?
Well, I was obviously furious at the time, but on reflection now, I understand everything. I think it was necessary because I wouldn't have believed myself either now, because I was young. I had no income, and to go on a first class British Airways flight was like, how does he do it? But that's one of just the incidences that I've had in my life. But we've traveled all the way to Mufulira in Zambia without paying for a train fare, and you jump from one truck to the other. So when the inspector, I don't know if you've been on a train, but if you're on a train, you can see the inspector coming to you to check your ticket, and then you can actually get off one trolley and get to the other one. So if the train is moving, you go into the bathroom so that they pass, and then you go to the other one. I've done all that just to get to a venue and present a theatre show. So there's been a lot of hurdles, but like I said, what's more important is that we're here today. We've survived those hurdles, and we still believe that art is life.
I see you are a person of conviction and drive.
Very positive-minded.
Positive-minded.
Yes. If I wasn't positive-minded, I don't think I'll be living in this country. Living in Zimbabwe is extreme positive, So it needs a bit of positivity,
For sure.
So that you keep going. But while saying that, it's a beautiful country we have here with lots of opportunities. What people see as lack of, I always see it as opportunity for something that could happen for anyone, not just the creatives.
For sure. I like that. You see it as opportunity.
The lack of is opportunity for anything.
Someone said when other scavengers and carnivores see elephants, they're like, that's big.
Yeah.
We have to run. But when lions see elephants, they're like, that's big lunch.
Yeah, it's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food. So what you're saying right there is literally saying that's big lunch.
Totally agree.
So what drives you? Because I was speaking of drive, what drives you?
Just being alive is the most important thing. And ngesindebele sithi ukuphila kumnandi. They also say your health is your wealth. And I think it's taken me to get to this age to actually realize that my health is more important than anything. So my number one goal is to keep myself alive, healthy, looking even younger than 50, which I am. So that if I'm healthy and I'm wealthy, that's the starting point to everything. And we normally complicate life when what's more important is to be alive. Then what comes after, you can only do it when you're alive. If you go to the graveside, there's people with epitaphs on them who had plans for 2025.
Ish. Said true.
But they're not here. That's why they can't go on with their plans. So for me, that's a good starting point.
Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
They say life begins at 40, so technically you're 10 years old.
Yeah, I'm a toddler, actually.
Yeah. How was your birthday like?
So my birthday is not conventional. Yes, I have had cake and a few presents, but my birthday is going to be at the theater. So we've booked the theater for 50 days where we'll go through work that I've done, work that I've always wanted to produce, or work that I've always wanted to curate with other people. So I will spend 50 days and 50 nights at the theater to celebrate my birthday using the works of art.
That's a powerful vision. That's a powerful initiative. And I look forward to seeing it unfold.
It's already unfolding. We're working a lot now, so it's going to happen. Whether the shows are successful or not is neither here nor there. The fact that we've traveled that journey, the fact that we have the theater, the fact that people will come and sit on those theaters is beautiful for us.
Yeah, it's all you have to do is to just do it. I like Nike. Just do it.
Just do it. We're dreaming.
Yes.
Sure.
Instead of saying I should have, now you're like, I'm glad I did.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm glad I did. So this is a heavy question. It's full of English. Yeah. How can we effectively blend innovation and technology with traditional art forms such as dance, storytelling, and music to enhance their relevance in education?
I'll tell you something that South Africa has done so well, and they continue to do it so well. That's why the whole world marvels at how South Africa is so packaged, and I use that word packaged. Ever since Nelson Mandela came out of prison, South Africa started repackaging itself. And what we see is hyped culture in everything. You think dance, you think theater, you think hip hop, you think amapiano now, you think kwaito, everything has been packaged so well. And in most cases, it has used technology and innovation. And this country has that chance because lack of is opportunity for us. These interviews we are having now, we never had them. When we grew up, everything was word of mouth. You would know that there's something like this because we heard it from someone. Now with innovation, with things at the palm, there's a lot that we can do to just preserve our heritage, to record history, to rewrite narratives. Because if we don't write them, someone else will write them for us. Because in the absence of the truth, the people always find the alternative. And I think we're in the right time, right place, with the right people. 2000 are the ones that can carry us forward because they are so into gadgets, they are so into technology, and using the innovation that's available now. There's a lot that this country can achieve, and the world is waiting for this country. For instance, I'll give you Mbira is only found in Zimbabwe. It's originating from here. Amarimba originate from here. A lot of our young people don't know that because they don't see it anyway. Until we innovate that, until we start recording a lot of our history, there's a lot that we don't see that comes from a country like this one. And I'm actually happy for the next generation that takes over from people like us, that there will be a lot that to learn from, so that in the near future they could be referring to, a classic work, meaning work that was done by us and those that have traveled before us.
Buzz.
It's okay.
Buzz, yeah. So when you picture a futuristic Zimbabwe with AMA 2000 taking over, what do you see in the art space?
The future of Zimbabwe, before we get even to the art space, beautiful. I'll give you a scenario. Look at sport, look at football, and look at how many young people are coming into our national team. Look at other sports disciplines. It's been amazing that the people that left this country because of lack of to find opportunities elsewhere are now returning to this country. This is a country that is propelled by returnees. A lot of people that have been exposed to other things. And within the art space, it's the same thing, the people that have traveled. We're talking about a young man who's in Spain and Barcelona just before we started this conversation. Imagine if young people like them, just 100 of them come back into the art space having learned what they've learned in these spaces that are supposed to be more developed than us, the future is obviously brighter. But it takes a mentality. It takes the current generation to make this place livable, comfortable for people that are used to choices. Because this country, unfortunately, does not give you choices, life choices. So you want someone to come back here, walk into a supermarket and find 6 types of milk to believe in this country. Semi-skimmed, full milk. You know how the young ones want to do things. So we need that. We need this country to be livable. This country needs to have choice so that young people can come in and make this place a better place, as it should be.
When you're speaking, I can't help but envision a bee. These go to different flowers and get pollen, and then they go back to the beehive to make honey. So that's what I'm seeing. Like we can go to other places, but let's.
So you can liken our current future generation to a sponge. If you take a sponge and throw it into water, what does it do? It sucks up the water. If you throw it onto the soil, it does not suck out the water. It takes the soil and the water. It just needs someone to look at a sponge and realize that if I throw it into water, it will pick up water. So there's a lot that we're doing now as a nation. Both our generation, the one that's before us and the one that's coming, we're all finding ourselves. And the future, Zimbabwe, it's not even a cliche. It's going to be bright.
I like that for sure. Mambazo.
Oh yeah, which is funny. It'll be too bright for all of us.
Okay, please finish this sentence for me as we wrap up. My hope for Zimbabwean youth is
they continue to live a legacy.
Okay.
Because they'll find a legacy, they should continue to live.
Oh yeah. Okay, sir. I wish we had more time. So probably we will have you again because this was amazing. I learned so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
What are your parting words to the audience?
Well, my parting words is always to the creatives,
okay.
And in this case, especially for the artists that are at home, watching also with the parents, and to say if you're an artist, you should always love the art in you, not yourself in the art.
Love the art in you, not yourself in the art.
Yes.
Write that down. So I wish you all the best in all that you do in your events planning, in more that you're to do. Believe the future is bright, like you said.
Definitely.
Go and shine then.
Yeah.
Well, once again, guys, I'm Singominkosi Khumalo. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and keep the conversation going. If you want to join Next Step, please check the description for the link. And if you want to come to Scholastica, it's still on the 30th of July to the 1st of August. Be sure to see you there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye for today.